Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rex and this is StarForge Review Crowdfunding Nightmare by the channel MandaloreGaming. The StarForge review analyzes one of the first Steam Early Access games that met spectacular failure and turned into crowdfunding nightmare. They can't keep getting away with it, okay? So we're gonna talk about a game that was crowdfunded basically. What is that starter called? I forgot the name of that. Whatever that is, right? Where people basically give money to them for some project. People sometimes gets even millions and millions of views by supporters around the world who's basically donate the money for something. I guess this is some similar of that. Sometimes people get scammed because of that crowdfunding thing. Like they promise something, they get lots of money, and the end product is shit. But as a whole, the whole thing is awesome because there are lots of projects, right, that wouldn't have happened but turned out great because certain people had real passion to create something, and people obviously saw that and gave money to it. But I guess this is not one of those instances. This is gonna fail miserably. This is by the channel MandaloreGaming. I love this channel. He really goes into deep. I guess he's a mixture of genuine reviews and yet some jokes and picking topics that are really funny. I guess he's a mixture of some serious review and Seth, something like that. Seth Martin, Cytopants, and combine it with some serious reviewer and got MandaloreGaming, I guess. Yeah, but they're really good, so let's watch it.
Before there was No Man's Sky, there was StarForge. You might not recognize it by the title alone, but the gameplay reveal of it got around. The game Minecraft was in a popularity golden age, so naturally other developers wanted to get in on this. But StarForge was selling itself as being much more than a Minecraft clone.
I mean, seriously, there are certain people who become way too fucking famous, like 50, 60, 70 million subscribers just playing Minecraft. And every time you see who's trending, one of the top 3 trending is some guy playing Minecraft. Like, holy shit. Like Mr. Boss or whoever that is.
For starters, they were aiming to have more realistic visuals. That's a pretty immediate difference. On top of this, they sold it as more than just another
Mr. Beast, sorry.
Building game. There were going to be RPG mechanics, there were going to be team battles and PvP modes. Environments would feel alive, you'd have custom weapons and could fly into space. Wait, what? StarForge used to hold the title of the 4th lowest rated game on Steam, at least until it was taken off the website. It seemed like they wanted it buried and forgotten, but I didn't forget. Neither did the people who really got burned by it. So if you're not familiar with the game, you're probably wondering why it's so hated and how it ended up this way. Well, this is a review first and foremost, so let's take a look at the game. The menu actually features the best part of the game, which is the soundtrack. I've had it playing the whole time.
Okay.
It reminds me of the Terminator theme crossed with Starship Troopers. This music has some soul, so good job, Kevin. Generating a map for the game is simple, but the water height setting is a little vague. Are there gonna be no water bodies in the game without this? I guess I'll know soon enough. Well, so far it's like if Sean Murray was the lead developer for Subnautica. The game seems like it doesn't have a whole lot to process right now. So I'm literally in a land of lakes, but my frame rate isn't buttery smooth. In fact, I'd say it's a bit more than marginally shit. So what's happening here? StarForge was built in the Unity engine, which has gotten a bad reputation for the wrong reasons. This game here is called The Forest. It's also a Unity game that, at the time of this video, was still in early access. It's a pretty game that's running without a problem, and I recorded this right after playing a session of StarForge. This might be one of the worst performing games I've ever played. So how come this Unity game runs and looks like this, and StarForge is how it is? The problem—
I mean, yeah, Unity engine is not bad. I just reacted to Seth's video yesterday. Holy shit, I even forgot the name. Endless Space 2. Yeah, I reacted to Seth's Endless Space 2 video, and that game looked fucking incredible. It's also from 2017, if I remember correctly. Every visual from that game. The game is ridiculously good, right? Made by, I don't know, Sega or something, I don't know. But yeah, the game looks awesome. Right, every space battle here and there, spaceship, black holes and things, and that is also made in Unity. So it's not Unity can make good-looking games. That's just bullshit.
The problem is not with Unity, it's with the developers.
Yeah.
There are plenty of popular or at least well-performing games on Unity, but now it's fallen prey to a curse. You might know it. Crafting, survival, Open World, Early Access. These have all the letters you need to spell out curse. These are cursed runes. It seems the more of those boxes you tick off, the more likely the game will be bad. And yeah, I know there's some exceptions to this, but that's how a curse works. It could be nothing and you'll feel silly for thinking about it. Or you get the equivalent of Emotep sucking $20 out of your wallet. Anyways, the reason things are this way is because Unity is a good engine for non-programmers. It has a web store where you can buy assets and essentially stitch together a video game out of them. So most development teams with programming know-how will make their own engine or use something like Unreal, but if they do use Unity, they know how to optimize assets and make it all run together. There's a few things that give me the idea that StarForge lacked in this. So while on a technical level it's a nightmare, let's talk about the art style. Colors in the game are
look, it sounds bad that, okay, this, I guess, tutorial type of things that, you know, anyone can make the game out of it, but it's also, I guess, one of the ease of access type of tool, which is not really bad. Like, you know, if somebody doesn't have that many, let's just say, teammates with them, not many developers, right, just one or two guys, it can make it easier, because just because they know it doesn't mean they can put hours into it, right? So something is just easier and stapled together. I guess it can work if you know what you're doing. So that's a good tool Unity gives.
very muted. There's just this general ugliness to everything. I'm not sure if your hands are supposed to look like clay. In fact, I'm not sure what a lot of things are supposed to be. When I first started out, I had no idea what I was holding half the time. That's really not a good way to start off. A few of the biomes in the game are actually pretty neat. Some of the strange plants and alien life kind of reminded me of the book Expedition. But then you would have like these weird, armless hydralisk worms that would attack you, and any hope you have of getting kind of into the game is gone. The enemies in the game get stuck on everything. Their quality is also taken down by the poor to sometimes broken animations they use. This is on top of them looking technically low quality for a 2014 game. Look at this, for example. This is a dead enemy. Yeah, dancing around is the arachnid's I'm dead animation, and this problem definitely isn't unique to the arachnid. Goodbye. I love you. One of the few things in StarForge that gave me genuine joy was watching animals fall down the mountain. I don't know why they didn't program their AI to handle slopes. I mean, they did go through the trouble to animate and model these unique alien creatures, so... Wait a minute. What's this? Alien Bug Model 302 includes animation rig. Oh, they didn't make these.
Okay. He's used it, huh? Oh my god.
There's no real way to tell how many of this game's assets are really original. The people they bought the alien assets from aren't listed in the credits, so who knows what models they made compared to buying them off Unity. But here's something that bothers me. This is the original worm asset. The guy who made it found out it was in the game when he saw the trailer. He seemed pretty happy that his work was getting around. The animations in his demo are very smooth and precise. But what about when it's thrown into the physics of StarForge? It seems kind of clear that it wasn't polished for this game. Learning this explains so much about why the enemies acted bizarrely different. I mean, yeah, they were running on a budget, but we'll come back to that later. So the art style is all over the place, clearly unfinished, and the game runs like garbage. Not a great first impression. I turned graphics down to the minimum at some point and it didn't look too different and ran the same. The visuals give an immediate impression that this game is broken. Let me show you how broken. Here's what happened when I dared to turn the in-game music down. If a song falls in the woods, does it kill a tree? Well, in StarForge it does. They sold this for $30.
What?
To turn the in-game music down.
Oh my god, that means that they fucked up the UI. I mean, this is so bad that they basically fuck up UI at the level that if you turn down the music, you also turn down the graphics setting. I mean, talking about on polish, that is just ridiculous. How is this possible, man? Look at that.
If a song falls in the woods, does it kill a tree? Well, in StarForge it does. They sold this for $30. What about gameplay? I mean, what's the whole point to playing StarForge? If you've played any survival game, it's not a whole lot different. But in this game, you start scratching your head really early. Like, why do I have to grab the space corn in one specific spot? And 3 stalks only give me 1 fiber? You kill a weird space pig to get meat, but it doesn't have any meat. It has a blueprint for cement stairs. Why? Why does the drill make grass evaporate into nothingness? And why does doing that break the sound? How come I can't—
Alright, I'm not gonna lie. Some creature holding a blueprint for some cement stairs or whatever. At the list of things being fucked up, I guess that is the loot system, you know, I guess using scripts to, you know, tune loot system, like which kind of creatures or which kind of loot can give just specific loots is kind of, I can understand that they didn't put that much time into it, right? Knowing how many fuck ups are already in the game. Like this is not the top of the list. It's still an issue, but not top of the list. Like okay, it makes sense sometimes. Let's be honest, there are lots of games where a fucking small critter, if you kill it, have a machine gun in them. Like what the fuck?
Can't look at items in my bar to see what I'm holding, but I could look through it in my inventory. Why? The tutorial wasn't helpful. I also couldn't change any of my keybinds because I couldn't find any keybinds. I had to look on the StarForge wiki, and even then most of them were out of date. I had to use a wiki to even find controls, and even then they didn't work. So, I figured I should consult the wise master. I assumed he was like Sisyphus, and only playing because it was a divine punishment. But he logged out when he saw me connecting, so I guess I'll never know the answers. By the way, connecting has its own little quirks. If you click connect, you're stuck forever. You have to double click the server name and then join and you're good to go. It's all so strange. So to make the game tolerable enough to actually play it, I brought in a team. This could have been the largest influx of players the game has had all year.
You know what this makes me feel like?
What?
Remember that movie Atlantis?
Yeah.
There's that little mole guy.
Is that supposed to be you, Dave?
What the fuck?
Since the game had voxel terrain, we thought it'd be a good idea to dig. Digging is one of the few things in the game that seems to work the way it's supposed to. It's simple and kind of fun at first.
How'd you go so quick?
I just held the mouse button down.
That's what I did.
Do a yellow helmet.
Like,
Alright, let's get to
I
work.
can see through the ground and see space.
But if you dig too deep, then things can break. And this doesn't matter too much because we learned that digging is pointless. Minecraft and games like it usually have resources under the ground. StarForge has piles. The piles are massive and they only hold one resource. So instead of digging or using sensors or anything like that, you just sort of run around the surface looking for these piles. Neither of these options are the good one, just varying shades of bad. This is mainly due to the physics. StarForge uses a physics-based movement system. Words really fail to describe the system. I'd compare it to selling an industrial furnace as a fast-acting heater. Yeah, it does do what it's supposed to, but is it really worth it? I was only trying to walk down the hill here, I wasn't jumping or doing anything crazy. And God, look at that frame rate. Look at this!
Man, I'm white? What the fuck? I wanna be black.
This is the worst movement I've ever played in a 3D game. Like, hands down. If you walk over a pebble that's too big, you'll go flying like Jet Li. This system makes the game nearly impossible to play normally. I think it was designed for two things. Throwing yourself
Oh my god, this is way too bad. Just sliding down the fucking slope does this shit. I mean, look, and I am very, when I see something, I'm very forgiving, right? I mean, lots of people constantly bitch about how I just saw some cyberpunk issue, like, okay, maybe I understand. And there's always, even in this review, like I said about the finding a cement blueprint, okay, I understand. I'm very forgiving, but something like this is just fucking ridiculous. Like, they didn't even know how to make a game. It feels like that. Like, how can you fuck a UI? Turning down the music makes grass disappear. How does that even happen?
into these.
I'm pretty sure if I did lots of, crowdfunding, whatever, found 2-3 people who know something and just basically wiki search lots of things. After a few months, I would know at least something to do. I would have enough OCD that if I saw something like that, I'm like, I'm not releasing this. First, I really search it through, like, why is this happening before I can fix it. This is just ridiculous.
And this. It doesn't even let you fly all the way up. That would be a good selling point.
Yeah, at least that would be awesome.
If the movement wasn't bad enough, the damage states are also very vague. I think they were going for a Deus Ex limb-based damage system that they just never finished. Frankly, I have no idea how it works. But if we look past all of that, it is a game about collecting resources and surviving. Naturally, crafting is a pain. Some materials can be refined in structures, but a lot of them you need to do yourself. One building block can take a few seconds to make. You can't queue up orders either, so just building a really simple, like 5x3 wall might take you anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. This is counting the time you need to put the block where you actually want it to go. As it turns out, physics-based movement is kind of bad for getting up on a precise angle, so I can't really recommend building anything either. The endgame content appears to be this crashed Star Destroyer. The challenge comes from it being swarmed by about 10 million worms, and it also gives off radiation. It is a convenient 4-minute walk from the starting spawn, though. The radiation might also be melting my 1060. At least Tim is murdering the sleeping player base.
I broke into his house.
The ship is pretty small, is filled with annoying exploding enemies, and you get stuck in everything. At this point, this is all to be expected. There's also mountain caverns with some enemies, but there's really no resources in here. Like I said before, the blueprints come from killing the bugs, so you can do that anywhere. I mean, what else is there to say? It's all broken. The planet in StarForge is an unending nightmare from which I cannot wake, so let's try going to space. We'll take the helicopter.
Okay.
Well, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen are finished. Did they mirror the texture on the back? Who cares?
Or I'm not gonna lie, that's some capable helicopter into the
There's
space.
nothing new here, I screwed up. Going to space was a waste of time. This game was a waste of time. So the big question is, why did it end up this way? When you look at the Indiegogo numbers, you can see they raised nearly twice their budget. The cash would be used to keep 3 devs running full time, along with buying assets from artists they had lined up, and also polish. Really? Events after the campaign get hard to follow. The Indiegogo page has a 1.5 year long gap between content updates. The team at Codehatch was very quiet about progress. The only media still on their YouTube channel is the release trailer. So what's there to go on? One view of the timeline was shown by an ex-community manager who made a long post on Reddit about it. StarForge, developer misconduct, a look back from the inside. It details how the team would remain silent for months at a time about the project. When it became one of the first games to debut on Steam's early access, everyone was surprised by it. The manager talked to the team only about once a month and only through Skype. At the end of 2013, they cut her from the team discreetly. Throughout 2014, the game was making rapid progress. Well, the version numbers were. The game would jump from version 5.5 to 7.5 and so on. These updates were adding very little to the game. So when the new community manager was getting quiet in around July 2014...
Alright, I'm just gonna say the lighting is so fucking bad, it's not even funny. The lighting is way too bad. Lighting is crucial if you want to make any game look good. Doesn't matter which engine you use, doesn't matter if it looks new age or the old style gaming, right? Like there are certain games even released today that looks like probably was released in 2005. The graphics is not, you know, textures don't look that good. But even with that, if you do the lighting right, it looks fine enough. Like, okay, this will work. Lighting is really, lighting is the worst thing here.
And one forum user went digging. Over the years, the team at Codehatch had grown from the few members it had to around 17. Using public information like LinkedIn's, the forum user found that most of the team was being sacked. Of the people they fired, 2 of them were the ex-developers at BioWare that they had bragged about. Others with experiences in different fields were also fired. Evidence pointed to the company being in massive financial trouble. Anyone who spread this information on the forums or on Steam were banned. According to...
I guess this was a scam, right? Like they raised the numbers as much as they can, kept the developers so they can boast about we have this developer, we have people from BioWare. I mean, fucking BioWare. If you're just gonna boast, I mean, are you sure that they sacked them? BioWare people didn't just walked away. Like, what is this shit? This is what you call professional? I'm pretty sure this was a scam at some certain point. After they got twice as money they wanted, they slowly sacked everybody and just created whatever makeshift game and released it. So I guess nobody can really sue them, right? If you make a good enough game, if you just make a game that you can, you know, start and quit, like, okay, this works, I guess, with some features. I'm pretty sure nobody can really file a case against them and argue that they didn't deliver or something. And what was that? Like somebody complains that, you know, they lied. All they do is just check the box. Like, does it say anything on the box? And didn't deliver it? If that's not the case, then they don't even look for it again.
Juno, 20,000 posts in total were removed. This included information about development, promised features, and more. Down the memory hole it goes. Version 1.0 was rushed out, and it definitely wasn't finished. The tragedy of StarForge has been buried, and this year was taken off Steam and offered for free. But why would they do that? Well, they are selling a game called Reign of Kings on Steam. Something about the UI looks strangely familiar. A lot of the reviews I read mention it being abandoned by developers and something bad happening. Wait, is this happening again? I guess the memory hole thing worked because when I was reading reviews of Reign of Kings at the time, a lot of them...
Wait a minute, is this from the same people or is this different instances from different people?
Didn't really mention StarForge. It seems a lot of news outlets didn't even know. So now when I see the Codehatch logo, I can only imagine a guillotine there. The game is bad. In fact, it's atrocious. But it's a game that I think more people should know about and what happened. The next time you see a game with cursed runes, just think about StarForge. And remember, Unity isn't the problem, and competence is. Even in its pathetic state, I can still see that there's a good game.
Endless Space, the game Endless Space and Endless Space 2, right? Or am I fucking that up again? I don't know why I can't remember it. Yeah, Endless Space. Endless Space 2, I saw from said that's so perfect. Every features game is so awesome. Literally perfect game. No way I'm ever gonna blame Unity, right? After that. Like, Unity is not bad. People don't know how to make that.
I'm buried in here somewhere. If it was managed better and people were held more accountable, it might not have ended up this way. For now, it's just a crumpled monument for early access abuse. I'm still taking requests for all the games you want to see next. I appreciate all the recommendations, codes, and even artwork you guys have been sending me. So thanks for watching. Don't play StarForge.
Dude, it looks like
Alright. This is just fucking ridiculous. I still can't get past that. If you turn down the music, grass disappears. Man, this is a disaster. But I guess it was somewhat of a scam to begin with, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Man, the Mandalore Gaming is a great channel. So is Seth, obviously. So is Martin Cytopants. But they don't review, I guess, one of the more common games. Like I don't see Fallout 3 review. I'm pretty sure there is no New Vegas review, right? And they did the Stalker one, so I'm happy with that. Why are they not doing some of the most famous franchises there? But it's alright. All these games are good too. I guess it introduced me to, I guess, newer concept of games. So it's great. We were seeing Warhammer games and, you know, all these different like Factorio, you know, Dwarf Fortress, things like that. Endless Space. That's great. Alright people, if you like my rigs, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the rigs under, there's a link in the description. Check out the cards, check out the ink cards. If you can find a particular reaction, just, you know, go into YouTube search, type the name of the video and say, type CG reaction in the end. YouTube will bring it up, I guess. Alright, I'll see you next time.